Hello and welcome to Bike Social. I'm Michael Mann and you join me here at a beautiful Donington Park. I am here with Ducati to ride the V4 Panigale and the V4S to try and find out what the differences are. I mean, on paper, it's £4,800 worth of difference. In real life, what do you get? This is the S, that's the standard model. On the S, you get a fully electrically adjustable Öhlins. It's the Smart EC 2.0 system. On the Panigale, it made its debut, that particular system. Really, really high end. So that's the forks, shock, and steering damper that are all Öhlins. You also get lighter weight wheels and a lightweight lithium-ion battery. Saves about 3 kilos. Let's see if £4,800 makes much of a difference in terms of lap time and enjoyment. We'll take them on the track. So there you go. Well, the results are not massively conclusive. 0.7 of a second, so less than 1 second difference around here at Donington Park between the standard bike and the S. Is that going to persuade you to spend £4,500 extra on the S model? Probably not. Does it matter? Probably not. Because ultimately, the S model is the more popular model. And that's because of that higher quality of component. On track, we've seen today, there's not much difference. On the road, however, that might be a different case completely, and I think there's definitely a room for a test just to see how those two compare across some bumpier roads, A roads, B roads, be what you like. However, why don't we give it to our own version of the Stig? It's a BSB rider, a Ducati representative, Scott Redding, to see how he can get on around here on the S model. Scott, now on a regular, like a test day, you've got your own V4, haven't you? But it's not the S version, yet it's not the completely standard version, is it? Well, you've got some different rear shock, is that right? It's an Öhlins shock?
Yeah, the base is standard, but the rear shock is Öhlins on it. And it's just a bike just for me to sometimes learn the track like I'm here at Donington today.
So you've had a session on the V4S. Now this has got the full electronically adjustable Öhlins suspension, but the setting on this, it's a race setting, but it doesn't adjust itself. But what are your thoughts on how it felt, front, rear?
I mean, it felt good. We had the Super Corsas.
Yeah,
Pirelli Super Corsas on there, which I was running slicks on mine. No warmers, 2-3 corners felt pretty good. The bike had a bit more power than mine, which not too much, but just pulled a little bit better. The bike, for some reason, felt a little bit more rigid. That could be the wheels. I just enjoyed to ride it with that little bit stiffer feeling. It felt a little bit more like a race bike than my bike that felt a little bit softer and a bit more give in it.
It's remarkable, really, because it is, like you said, it's got the mirrors, it's got the registration plate. You know, it's been ridden here today, it'll be ridden home again, so it's out of the box. It's what a customer can buy. And yet, we put a data log on you, didn't we? 136 and a bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good for a street bike that you ride out there. I could happily race that bike, you know, as it is, as it comes now, I could race it. I mean, Ducati's done a great job with this V4. It's amazing. A lot of the comments, a lot of people are very happy about it. The bike, you know, performs phenomenal for a track and for a road. So I think all in all, the package is very good, and you can have best of both worlds. Like you say, you're going to ride it home, ride it to the track, ride on the track, and go home again. So it's an all-in-all good package.
Good stuff. Thanks for joining us, man.
Nice, cheers.
I'm joined now by Sam. Sam, welcome to Bike Social. Now, Sam's the Öhlins expert from P&H Motorcycles. Right, okay, so we've already established that the big differences between the V4 and the V4S are the Öhlins electronic suspension. But tell us how they work and what makes them so trick.
Okay, on the V4S, the electronic suspension is fully active. So it's fully adjustable electronically. So the bike will effectively adjust its own damping and compression and rebound to suit riding conditions.
And that's front forks and rear shock?
Front forks and rear shock. They're both adjustable compression and rebound. So it will pick up sensors from the rest of the bike, brake pressure sensor, throttle sensor, engine sensor, speed sensors, things like that. And that will feed information to the suspension control unit, which then will make adjustments to the damping front and rear.
Is that an Öhlins specific computer, or does that sort of plug in and connect with what's on the bike?
It is an Öhlins specific computer, suspension control unit. It is part of the bike as standard, obviously, but it will speak to all the other computers and to be able to determine what to change and when and how much.
So it really doesn't matter which kind of conditions or which kind of surface you're riding on, it will know?
Yeah, it will. I mean, it won't necessarily know what surface you're riding on, but it will adjust itself for the conditions. So if you give it a big handful of throttle, it will adjust the rear in that case to cater for the situation.
So the actual forks themselves, do they differ from standard Öhlins, as in non-electronically adjustable?
The main part of the forks is a fork, so the same components internally. The big difference is the electronic stepper motor at the top of the fork, which does what a screwdriver used to do.
Alleviates you from any kind of manual labour.
Yeah,
great.
Exactly.
And is there anything that you can do manually with this
manually,
setup?
preload is still adjustable, front and rear. So that will control your kind of angle of the bike and effectively how the bike handles, so tipping into corners, cornering versus stability.
So it's another example of a real step up in rider aids that will just make any kind of ride, I mean specifically here on a circuit, even better, even more comfortable, even more refined.
It's a way of, like I say, automatically adjusting everything. Like I say, a lot of rider aids on bikes nowadays, and it's just an extra one that's come down from racing technology and filtered its way down onto the road.
And they look so good as well, don't they? And what about the steering damper? So that's got Öhlins written on it?
Yeah, steering dampers, again, electronically controlled, electronic motor, doing what a screwdriver used to do. The average modern day rider, it's an extra rider aid that will give an extra part of confidence, and the Öhlins product itself is that much superior, let's say, use better internal components, better materials, things like that. So you get the extra materials, plus your electronic aids that just help pretty much every rider condition you can possibly do. Your more experienced riders would probably get away with the electronics and they're more comfortable with the kind of old school clicks and screwdrivers and manually adjustable, but you're talking real serious track days. Yeah.
So if you're a V4S customer or rider, it means that you don't have to worry about any kind of adjustments, whether you're on track and then all of a sudden you're riding home again. You can kind of just, let the system do it itself.
Yeah, once you get the preload and what's called the rider sag, once you get that set, which is done, like I say, mechanically, that's pretty much your kind of average set. For road or track, it'll differ per track if you're a bit more serious. But yeah, once you put the bike into dynamic mode, which they come standard, it will adjust itself.
If you turn up a circuit on your V4S or if you're going out your garage on a Sunday morning for a bit of a jolly, it's like having you there, but electronically.
Yeah, it's electronic.
So actually, all of a sudden, I'm really lazy, and I wouldn't want to start mucking about, nor do I trust myself probably, but by having an electronic system like this, it almost, for me, I can start to begin to justify that massive step in cost between the standard model and the S.
Absolutely.
So it's not necessarily about lap time, it's all about ride quality.
It's rider feel, rider confidence as well. Especially the amount of power these bikes are putting out. Confidence is going to be quite a big thing.
Good stuff. Sam, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem at all.
Panigale V4S has somewhat unsurprisingly have a raving endorsement for the likes of Scott Redding. Well, I know, but he gets paid to ride a Ducati. But he's also the kind of guy who wouldn't say that it's incredible if it isn't. And really, the differences between the V4 and the V4S, we've already established all this incredibly technical Olin system, which is like having an onboard computer doing all the sort of riding simulation for you, or flattening out, or making it a better quality ride. And I think that's where that extra £4,000 worth of expense comes from when you're looking at buying one of the new Panigale V4s. For me, it's not necessarily about lap times. It's about rider quality and rider comfort, and just having the confidence, like Sam from Olins was saying, knowing full well that the system, the suspension, the front forks, the rear shock, the steering damper are always optimized. So whether you're tipping into cops at whatever, 100 miles an hour, or whether you're in the twisty bits around Vale or here at Silverstone, or whether you're at Donington Park going down Craner or into the foggy S's, whether it's a fast or a slow corner, you've always got the confidence that the bike is set up, and it's in terms of compression and rebound and preload to its maximum, to its optimum setting. And for me, because I'm a bit lazy and because I don't really fully understand how the adjustments work to my ability and my weight, then it almost becomes justifiable, that extra expense. And also, you know, if you take a V4 and a V4S, and I think that a lot of people, when they're trying to spend, or they're choosing a motorcycle, they're going to go for that top of the range version just because it's got the S after it. All in all, you're still trying to manhandle over 200 brake horsepower, and when you've got electronic assistance to this kind of high level of specification, it's only going to improve the ride, and for me, it's worth it.